Okay, good evening, everybody. We always start our public programs with a land acknowledgement, so I'm going to read that now. We would like to acknowledge that the land Getty inhabits today was once known as Tovangar, the home of the Gabrieleno Tongva people. We show our respect to the Gabrieleno Tongva people, as well as all First People, past, present, and future, and honor their labor as original caretakers of this land. Getty commits to building relationships with the Gabrieleno Tongva community. We invite you to acknowledge the history of this land and join us in caring for it. I am Jim Gans, Senior Curator of Photographs here at the Getty Museum. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to today's event, Charles Phoenix, Southern California in Kodachrome. What an amazing crowd. We are absolutely full, and some of you, I think, even came on the 405 from on a weeknight. I mean, that's incredible. So many more are joining us on a live stream as well at home. So before we get started, I just want to start with a few notes. For guests who are here with us in the auditorium, please take a moment to silence your mobile devices. For online attendees, closed captioning has been enabled. To access live captioning, click the CC icon on the Zoom menu bar at the bottom of your screen. Time permitting, Charles will answer questions at the end. For our online audience, please use the Q&A function on your Zoom menu bar. And for those here in person with us here, there will be a mic available which we will pass around so that everyone can hear the questions. So please wait for the mic to ask the questions. So now I will introduce our speaker. Mid-century pop culture expert and humorist Charles Phoenix is a performer, author, explorer, and collector celebrating classic and kitschy American life and style. He is known for his spirited slideshow performances, classic car joyride videos, colorful coffee table books, test kitchen creations, and fun field trip tours. The New York Times dubbed him the King of Retro. And he's a great follow on Instagram, by the way, so be sure to check out his page. I bought my first Charles Phoenix book on Southern California Kodachrome at the Huntington Library gift shop in February 2005 when I was visiting from the chilly Berkshires. And I will say that book helped inspire my eventual move to the West Coast. It really did. When I finally landed in LA, I reached out to Charles and we started talking about an appearance here at the Getty. He had spoken here once before during one of the early PST programs. So we started having these conversations. A little pandemic happened, and then, years went by, but we're finally here. I cannot believe we're finally here. I will just finish by saying that I consider Charles a national treasure. His wide-ranging knowledge of Southern California history, architecture, fashion, and design is truly astounding. And as a collector, he has done something really extraordinary by preserving countless thousands of cast-off Kodachrome slides and giving them a new life. Please join me in welcoming Charles Phoenix.
Thank you, Jim. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here. Wow. Up there too. Uh-oh, sorry, I forgot for a second. I'm supposed to walk like this, my tailor told me. He said, you don't want to rub those polka dots together. I said, why? He said, because the red's going to rub off on the white. Then he said, you know what? You're not going to like that suit anyway. I said, why? He said, well, you're just not going to. I said, I'm willing to take my chances. So anyway, I'm so glad you're all here. We are here to celebrate vintage Kodachrome, which I have been collecting since 1992. I was in a thrift store one day. I will never forget, Pasadena, California. And I saw a little blue shoebox underneath the table, and it had my name on it. So I opened the box up, and it was someone else's old slides, and the box said, Trip Across the United States, 1957. And I held a few up, and I thought to myself, this is a treasure with my name on it. So I got it, and I have been collecting ever since. So tonight, you are going to see some of the zillions of slides that I have of Southern California in the 1950s and 60s called Southern California in Kodachrome. And, oh, I know, we love Southern California, we love Kodachrome. This, by the way, is the city of Laverne. That's where this was taken. If you don't know where that is, it's near the city of Shirley. All right, I'm gonna go over here, and we're gonna start right now. Clicker time. So yeah, I'm very, very super into still collecting all these years later. And I'll tell you, this slide right here, I got a call from this guy, and he said, aren't you the guy that collects other people's old slides? And I said, yes, I am. And he said, well, I have some slides for you. I said, oh, you do? Well, I've learned over the years when people call, I don't know where they get my number, but I always say, well, can you tell me anything about the slides? So I said, can you tell me anything about the slides? And he said, well, I don't know. I said, did you look at them? Yeah. I said, well, certainly you can tell me something. And he said, well, I think they were lesbians. I said, I'll be right over. Here they are now. Why collectively as a society have we all turned our backs on chartreuse? Don't you love the built-in curio shelves? That built-in settee sofa will seat 18 people to match. And I love the pool table and the fact that one wears polka dots, the other wears plaid. By the way, we match. I just realized that. And what's also weirder is that I have a suit in that exact plaid. I swear. I almost wore it tonight. Next time I'm gonna wear a pant and the jacket. Anyway, so now the retro Southern California slideshow begins. It is the age of space. The year is 1967. And we have just landed in the most modern metropolis in the entire known universe. The theme building was the centerpiece and the crowning touch of the 1961 jet age expansion of LAX. I have no idea who took this photo, but I'm sure glad they saw fit to get that all new for 1965 Rambler Marlin front and center. Fastback roofline, two-tone paint job, inside bucket seats, and a floor shift console. Well, let's get in it because we're in a hurry. We got to get to Long Beach. After 1,001 crossings of the Atlantic Ocean, this is the Queen Mary at the end of her absolute final voyage. In 1967, she's about to go where she is still parked to this very day. On board one of these little... These ladies are there to witness the momentous occasion. Sunglasses, cigarettes, Lays, capri pants, martinis. And I bet the lady on the far right is very glad she brought her camera because there's another lady on board that looks just like Endora from Bewitched. And how much are you loving that 1960s sampler platter of a hairdo? Wisping, curling, whirling, and cascading in every direction any hairdo of the 1960s ever did. Isn't she gorgeous? I know. Yes, indeed. Probably like thinking about what's for dinner. 20 years earlier, in the year of 1947, we arrived. So yeah, it's all about time travel, you guys. It goes deep. And we're going deep right now because this is an extraordinarily rare slide of the Harbor Drive-In and the Hawaiian Garden in San Pedro, California. Yes, when was the last time you saw chicken, fountain, and spaghetti written on a semicircle? The Hawaiian Garden, entertainment, dancing cocktails, chicken, steak, and squab. How long has it been since you've seen squab rendered in neon? Okay, fine. You wanted something a little more upscale. Be that way. Let's go here. One of the great icons of all Hollywood restaurants ever of all time for eternity and beyond and more galore. This is the iconic, legendary landmark, Brown Derby Restaurant, built at Wilshire in Alexandria, right across the street from the Ambassador Hotel in the year of 1926. In 1979, developers came along and said, we're gonna bulldoze it. And some people got together, got really upset and said, no, 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 you can't. So the developer said, fine, okay, fine. I will compromise with you. I'll put it on the roof of my mini mall. So it's on, currently, right now, after the show tonight, you could go there and see this building on the top of the two-story mini mall, way in the back, like it doesn't exist. So it's kind of a miracle. It's kind of an interesting, fun thing to see if you love to look through the layers of time like I do. Here we are in Hollywood, 1947, Tom Brenneman's Ham and Eggs. Fine, be that way. Breakfast at Tom Brenneman's. That was a radio show. And this, by the way, did I mention, it's between Sunset and Hollywood Boulevard. This is also, during that time, the hub of radio studios in Hollywood. Tom Brenneman's is in the ABC building. CBS is just down the corner here to the left. And if you walk about 10 steps backwards, go catty corner across the street, you will get this picture. This is the corner of Sunset and Vine. This is NBC Radio. What? Did someone groan, moan, or pass out? What happened? I heard, oh. Yeah, that's the way I feel when I'm looking at these things. I mean, so anyway, yeah, this is NBC Radio City in Hollywood. Back in the day, this is where some of the most famous shows on radio were broadcast from. Jack Benny, Bob Hope, Fanny Brice all broadcast their shows live in front of studio audiences in this gorgeous streamlined modern building, which, by the way, was bulldozed in the year of 1964. Yes, indeed. But when this picture was taken in 1950, radio was not the big news in Hollywood. Oh no, it was television. And this man took a chance and bought one. I want to know, did the instruction booklet say, like, paint the room black because the picture is so dim? Put a fan blowing on those tubes, they get very hot, might explode in your face. Don't bother with a comfortable piece of furniture, bring something in from the patio. And there's not very much on, so have a game handy nearby. The little boy doesn't care at all about the television. There's nothing on it for him. All he wants to do is go flying. Streamland Park, Pico Rivera, with the oil derricks on the hill in the distance. This is nirvana for this child. Venice Miniature Railway there. And he can just fly all day long, go round and round and round. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Isn't it? Kinda feels that way sometimes, doesn't it? Yes, thank you, call again. No, not yet. The little boy hasn't ridden his favorite ride. Landscaping by Mother Nature. Are you beginning to appreciate Disneyland just a little more? I thought so. Oh, I know. I could not believe when I found this. Well, I got the full explanation because I got it from the gentleman who took this picture. April 7th, 1958, there was a massive fire at the Hancock Oil Refinery in Long Beach. The entire skies over Southern California were blackened with these dark clouds. And this shot in the late afternoon was marked the last day this line ran. This, of course, is the red car, part of the world's largest interurban trolley system that ran between 1901 and 1961. This was the last day this car ran from Los Angeles to Anaheim. I know. But we didn't need it anymore. No, because we had this. Oh, yes, we did. With Mount Baldy as a dramatic backdrop, this is one of the first sections of the San Bernardino Freeway completed. the 10 as we know it today. This is East Los Angeles. Look at it. I love the fact that they have an extra lane in the middle, divided very nicely into parking spaces in case you want to pull over and just watch the traffic go by. I know. And then, oh, by the way, don't go too fast because you may have an unwanted encounter with this. It is the all-new for 1958 Del Rey by Chevrolet. Yes, and I guess the city of Los Angeles ordered plenty of them. And I love the antenna. It'll probably catch a signal from at least a mile away. And how much are we loving that giant chrome watermelon of a siren up top and center there, flanked by 2 winking and blinking maraschino cherry lights? Makes me want a banana split. How about you? But we're not talking about banana splits right now, no. We are talking about the fact that this slide was crystal clearly marked the day that Betty went off to nurse's school. Looks a little more to me like the night that Betty went off to nurse's school. But Betty is ready to go with her horn-rimmed glasses. Her lips have been painted. She's wearing black gloves, black purse, black shoes. I love the flaps on her hip bones there, 3/4 sleeve, the orchid corsage, and matching luggage by Lady Baltimore. The car is the 1956 Montclair by Mercury. Beautifully finished inside and out in persimmon and cream. Notice the steering wheel, look over the hood ornament, the big M down to the license plate there. She smashed it a little. We'll let her slide on that. But I certainly hope she does not pull into the parking lot of the nurse's school with that scuffed, wide, white wall tire. For it will be very socially unacceptable. It's fine if she wants to drive like a maniac. She should skip nurse's school and go see these guys right here. Culver City Racetrack, yes. So occasionally somebody will shout out in the audience that they recognize somebody. The guy on the right a while back, somebody yelled at. That's my parents' friend. He's 95 years old now. I love to know the people in the slides are alive and doing well. Yes, indeed. And it looks like they've already rolled over their number 33, but on the track, the tension is mounting, and number 88's about to roll over number 0, and I'm wondering why I'm craving steaks and chops. Then afterwards, after dinner, I have an idea that we might as well all just go out to the drive-in movie theater. Yes, the drive-in movie theater. We did not invent the drive-in movie theater here in Southern California, but we certainly perfected it. This, of course, as you can see, crystal clearly written out for your pleasure and mine, the Compton Drive-In. This is a very special drive-in to me. It was built in the year of 1948. The reason why it is so special is because my mother grew up on the street that looked right up on this. And when I was a little kid, we used to go visit my grandparents in Compton, and I would just go stand out on the sidewalk and look up the street, and I would see this. So then years later, like probably, I don't know, about 20 years ago, I thought to myself, you know, I'm gonna go, actually no, it's more like 30. What am I, time flies, doesn't it? I know. No, it does. Anyway, so about 30 years ago, I thought to myself, I'm gonna go back to Compton and see if that drive-in is still there. So I got in my car, I drove down there, and I'll be darned anyway, it was still there. Before the days where we had cameras everywhere in our pockets and everything, and so I didn't take any pictures. Then about 2 weeks later, I had been thinking for that entire 2 weeks, like, I don't know if I was really dreaming or really if it was there. Was it a mirage? So I thought, I'm gonna have to go back there. And I swear to you, I went back and the entire screen tower had been bulldozed and was smashed into smithereens spread over the entire area where the cars used to park. I know. Well, there are no guarantees in life and nothing lasts forever. Nothing. But this drive-in kind of has. Yes. This is the longest surviving drive-in movie theater in all of Southern California. This is the Sunset Drive-In movie theater where the show starts at dusk every fair time because this is in the world's largest miniature garden railroad at the Los Angeles County Fair. which has been there since 1922. It's still going on, and they added this in 1952, and it's still there. I know, it's just shocking, isn't it? The Fun Zone at the Los Angeles County Fair. I love the sign that says Coca-Cola, hamburgers, candy apples, orange, hot dogs, and snow cones. All my favorite foods. So anyway, I remember as a child, this sign mesmerized me, and it had me over the rainbow. And I was always asking my parents, can't we please go into the Fun Zone? Can't we please go into the Fun Zone? Can't we please go into the Fun Zone? Year after year, no, we are not going into the Fun Zone, no. So finally, I think about 4th grade, I thought to myself, well, they're probably gonna say no, but I'm gonna ask anyway. And so they said, no, we're not going in. So I thought, I need to ask why. So I said, why can't we go into the Fun Zone? And they said, well, if we go in there, we're afraid that you'll be stabbed. That is what they said. Choose your words more carefully, parents. Of course, naturally, I've been traumatized ever since. But I got over it the minute I laid my monorail loving eyes on this. Yes, in the year of 1962, really high class by any county fair standards, the Los Angeles County Fair christened actually the person who was there to christen it was Vice President, well, I don't know if he was Vice President then, Richard Nixon, but I know. But anyway, here it is, and as you can see, it is a masterpiece of mid-century outer space age style and design, and it was really popular. As you can see, it's pretty crowded. The first year, though, the people who built it forgot to put air conditioning in it, so the people in there for the first year got to roast to a delicious done as they took in the mile-long bird's-eye view of the fair festivities below. Kind of reminds me of a big trailer, doesn't it? That had a baby with a pontoon boat. Speaking of trailers, here we are now in Calabasas. I love these 3 sisters. The 2 dress alike. The little one doesn't want to have anything to do with them. She's just got her hand on her hip like this with her little Dixie cup kind of cockeyed to the side there like, come pour me some more. These 3 sisters will not dress alike, but these 4 sisters will. Yes, indeed. This slide was marked Sue and Beanie's Girls, Tarzana, 1959. And how optimistic those dresses that match all are. 4 rows of rickrack around the waistline, around the neckline, around the sleeve, and all the way around that voluminous hem. And you know the mother made them. By the way, the lampshade, can we just have a moment? So I'll never forget, probably about 1985, I was going shopping on Western Avenue where all the old furniture stores were. And I went in there and there was a lampshade just like that, except it had a matching big tie, like a bow in the middle at the waistline. And I just fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. And I went up to the guy and I said, how much for that lampshade? And he said, I'll give you $1 if you take it. I do love a beautiful family portrait. Palmdale, 1955. The 2-tone 1949 Nash Ambassador is parked in the driveway. Grandpa, cool as a cucumber. Sunglasses, pleated breeches, and a striped tie blowing in the breeze. Grandma still in her house coat. She hasn't gotten dressed yet. Little Missy down front, Peter Pan collar flopped up in the breeze, puff sleeve, bobby socks, and V-strap Mary Janes. And behind her, ladies and gentlemen, Margaret Hamilton. She's wearing her blue swallow dress. Apparently, she forgot to go for her final fitting. It slipped sliding away. Then we have Auntie with her double-breasted red dress, Uncle with a camera, Little Junior and Bigger Junior. Plaid shirt, cuff Levi's, shotgun. This is Frank DeGroat of Huntington Park. He was a part-time police officer for the Huntington Park Police Department and a part-time worker at the Shelmar Plastic Factory in Southgate. And as you can see, he's received a lovely birthday greeting from his aunt. In the kitchen, his wife has invited over several of their friends, just as many as they can cram into that tiny little kitchen, where she is displaying her sour cream cheesecake pie. Looks so good with the fresh strawberries on top, made in a clear glass pie dish, which reveals that golden, buttery brown graham cracker crust. Ooh, that looks good. Yes, indeed. After dinner, Helen's gonna slip into something a little more comfortable. Oh, I know. Can you believe that shower curtain? Satin finish, mint green plastic with flamingos and palms. And look at her, she has strewn hibiscus blossoms all around her ankles, and she's twirling one between her thumb and forefinger. I'm pretty sure that in the 1950s, they thought that hibiscus flowers were an aphrodisiac. I wonder what her husband Frank thinks of that. This slide was marked the last day we used the incinerator. Alhambra, 1952. So that's Sylvia on the right and Katie Kellogg on the left. Katie Kellogg marks the momentous occasion by enjoying a cigarette. Later on that afternoon, the two of them are around the lunch table with their husbands. And what's for lunch? Oh, in the middle, potato chips, ketchup, crushed pineapple over cottage cheese. We've got olives. And over by Katie Kellogg's elbow over there on the left, a big stick of butter and an artichoke. But they're not celebrating those meatloaf sandwiches served on white bread. Oh no, not at all. They're celebrating the fact that one of them, I'm not sure who, but one of them went out and bought a brand new car. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the all-new for 1954 Buick Super Riviera Coupe. Beautifully finished in lipstick red and jet black. And yes, this is an absolute classic American car. It weighs 2 tons and gets 9 miles to the gallon. It's formal and sporty at the same time. Isn't it gorgeous? I know. Oh, fine. You didn't want a big American car. You wanted a foreign car. Be that way. This is the 1958 Messerschmitt, brought to us by the fine folks in Germany. Isn't it adorable? I know. Little three-wheeler, bug eyes, little tiny wheels, little tiny fenders. And of course, it's great because it has a bubble top, a clear plexi bubble top. So like on those hot summer afternoons driving around the San Gabriel Valley or the San Fernando Valley, you can roast the hair off the top of your head. Oh, you wanted a homemade car. All right, here it is. Looks like a potato chip and a Jeep had a baby. This car is, I mean, how could something so clumsy be so streamlined at the same time? Begging the question, how could something so wrong be so right? And something so right be so wrong? By the way, there are no doors. You've got to jump right in and be very careful that you don't poke your eye out on that antenna. This is Mr. and Mrs. Suburbia. It's 6 o'clock in the evening. Muzak is playing on the stereo console, and Mr. Suburbia has just returned home from a long day at the office. Yes, and Mrs. Suburbia has just been sitting there all day, clearly with nothing else to do. She's been smoking. Look at her ashtray over there. It is full of cigarette butts. Oh, by the way, if Mr. Suburbia wants to enjoy another cigarette with Mrs. Suburbia before dinner, that's not a problem at all. They can smoke right, they can smoke left, and if they want to, darn it, they can smoke forward too. I know. I love the ashtray on the left. It looks like a piece of butternut squash, don't you? With some pesto on it. Anyway, but we're not talking about butternut squash or pesto or anything else like that right now. We're talking about the hand-carved figurine there on the right from the exotic import shop. Look at it now. Here it is on the far right. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Mrs. Suburbia bought a new home, and we are looking at it through the absolute most exciting feature of every 1950s and 60s and 70s tract home in Southern California, the sliding glass doors. Wall-to-wall carpet, furniture on high heels, a Danish modern dinette set, above it a flying saucer light fixture that will hover at any height that you so desire, a rubber tree way over there, a philodendron, drum lampshades, and perfect spot for the next door neighbors to come over and visit, to sit in those two turquoise chairs that look like they should be characters on Pee-wee's Playhouse. I swear they could talk. Look at them. Anyway, the perfect place for the new neighbors to sit. Yes, this slide was crystal clearly marked. Our new neighbor Larry and his roommate. Easy Street. Another slide in the collection that I found this slide from revealed the cross street was Fortune Way. And so I thought to myself, I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to go over there. It's Highland Park, actually. I know, a new development from 1958 in Highland Park. I love the sale sign. I love the rock roof. And the one on the right there, that's a style that I call Pagoda Ranch. And I wanted to go over there and see if that symbol was still on the garage door. So I went over there, and I am happy to report to you the answer is yes, it is still there. I know, but I guess we all know by now that just because you're living on Easy Street does not mean that you will not need one of these. PCH, Long Beach. I want to know, though, like, does that mean the financing, if you get bombed, you don't have to pay the bill? I'm not sure. But anyway, thing is, though, you do not need to buy one of these and dig a big hole in your backyard and bury it in there. No, you don't. Not at all. If you think the bomb is on its way, fine. Just make your way in short order right over to the Eastland Shopping Center in West Covina, ladies and gentlemen, where they have a fallout shelter that is capable of housing 1,000 people for one entire week. Just think, if you like down there and whatever, you get bored, you can go upstairs and go shopping. I'll never forget when I was a little kid, we used to go here, and seriously, not joking around, it was my third favorite place that we would go. My first favorite place was Disneyland, second favorite place, Knott's Berry Farm, third favorite place was this place. And well, look at it, looks like Tomorrowland. And I love the big towering stained glass tower there spelling out where you are in case you forget. And of course, the big M for May Company, a very nice store. My mother and grandmother always bought stuff there, and I remember it was always a wonderful experience, except for the one time I had to witness my grandmother buying a girdle. I did not enjoy that. But anyway, it was the first freeway side shopping center built in Southern California. It was an island of retail, thoughtfully surrounded by a parking lot with 12,000 spaces. Oh, fine. You want to stick around Covina a little bit more? How about we go to the Bowl, the Covina Bowl, and we can hang out in the Pyramid Room, built in 1955. This was the first bowling sport palace built in Southern California, a full-fledged entertainment center, complete with restaurant, cocktail lounge, and beauty shop, barber shop, and nursery. So you could just say, here, take care of my kid while I go bowling. And I will say that the pyramid and the sign are still there, as is that folded paper porte cochere that you drive under. But over to the right is 3-story condos now, and there's no more bowling. I know. Well, as I said earlier, nothing lasts forever. Nothing. Too bad this didn't. Let me tell you something. When I stumbled across this slide in a collection, I nearly collapsed. absolutely spellbinding, hypnotizing, and mesmerizing in so many ways. This is absolutely the epitome of Googie architecture, style, and design, and color palette. The Wonder Bowl, built in Anaheim in 1957, sitting on the property where right now the roller coaster at California Adventure sits. So to give you an idea where we are. I love the cars in the parking lot. I love that it says Helen Terry at the piano bar, roast sirloin, roast sirloin of beef. Dinner, $165, coffee shop, 95-cent luncheon. And of course, how much are you loving the fact that somebody had the nerve to go out in public in their 1955 Ford Crown Victoria in shocking pink and white, missing a wheel cover. Therefore revealing the fact that the Ford Motor Company was really into detail because they saw fit to paint the wheels to match every car. How many wheels do you ever see now painted pink? I know. Okay, fine. No fear of color here either. Yes, this is white front, and that is false advertising. This is Anaheim, and those two guys there, they're like ashamed to be seen in the photo. They turn around. Anyway, I'll never forget one Saturday morning in probably it would have been 1972, I think. My mother's like, wake up, wake up. We're going to go to Whitefront to meet the Brady Bunch. Of course, I was ready in 1 second. We went to Whitefront in my hometown of Ontario, California. And there they were, the Brady Bunch. There were about 1 million people. We bought the Christmas album that they recorded, and we stood in line for all day long. They all signed the album, and we got home. We put it on the stereo console to play, and my dad, brother, mother, and myself all looked at each other after 2.5 songs, and all at the same time said, "We can't stand the way the Brady Bunch sings." And we never played it again. Like 20 years ago, I said, Mother, what happened to the Brady Bunch album that's been in the closet here for, the past 25 years? And she goes, oh, I wish you would have let me know you wanted it. I just donated it. I'm like, they all signed it. It's like $500 on eBay. Never mind that. This is Jack in the Box, 1967, Alhambra, California. I'm not sure if it's dusk or dawn. But it's one of those. Don't you love the international style of the building? By the way, the only reason why Jack in the Box buildings were actual boxes is because, so they started in 1951 in San Diego, and they had a big sign out front, and the sign ordinance police in San Diego said, you're not going to be able to have that big tall sign out front. No tall signs on this street. And so they're like, oh no, okay, we'll take it down. In the meantime, somebody there at Jack in the Box thought, I know, we'll put 4 billboards around our little stand, and it'll be the box in Jack in the Box. And the city was never the wiser. They got their tall sign up in the air, and they have fried chicken, and they have turnovers, and they have insured quality hamburgers. I love the fake flags blowing in several different breeze directions. Okay, fine, you wanted to eat at home. Well, you better stop at the grocery store. Oh, I know. Can you believe this? Ralph's, North Hollywood, Lancashire, 1955 is the newest car in the parking lot, and that's sometimes how I date these photos. But anyway, this Ralph's was probably built in about 1939. As you can see, it's very streamlined, modern, and that sign tower is quite well decorated. The Neapolitan ice cream kind of checkerboard there is not a reminder to buy checkerboard ice cream. Does anybody remember checkerboard ice cream? Yeah, you can still get it in Canada, by the way, but nowhere in the United States. I don't know why, but we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about, nowhere are we talking about the ad on the billboard across the street is for green toilet paper. Remember toilet paper in color, you guys? Yeah, you can't find it at the store anymore, but you can buy it online. Anyway, so what I love about this afterthought of the checkerboard painting is I'm pretty sure if you stand back and stare at it long enough, you're going to see Abraham Lincoln. Need to do some banking? How about Newport Balboa Savings, built in 1957 on Lido Isle in Newport Beach, or they're in Newport Beach. I don't know if it's on Lido Isle, but anyway, you guys, this is a sampler platter of mid-century modernity and an absolute, well, I don't know about you, but I think it's absolutely stunning, don't you? I mean, can you imagine pulling up to this place now? I know. I love the kind of the egg crate grill up there, and then the folded paper roof, and then that just kind of like jazzy splattered paint finish on that gorgeous sunscreen across the entire building, not to mention the 1958 Cadillac Coupe de Ville in jet black parked there. Probably the car that belongs to the bank president. So the story of this building, I was told, was the bank president was driving down the street, and all of a sudden, he got in a wreck. And so he got out of the car and like, hey, you wrecked my car. And the guy's like, I'm so sorry. I'm an architect. He goes, you are? I need an architect to design my new bank building. And it is Sarmiento as the architect. He was an architect from Argentina. And so he got the job. And so look up Sarmiento and you'll see amazing mid-century buildings. And this one only as a result of running into the bank president's car. Here we are at the Beverly Hilton Hotel, built in the year of 1955. This is the ultimate mid-century modern building in all of Beverly Hills. And as you can see, they have no fear of color here either. Let's make the room dividers colorized like this whole place is one big giant nursery school. Isn't it gorgeous? I know. Designed by the local great architectural firm of Welton, Beckett, and Associates. Yes, indeed it is. Here we are in the Miracle Mile of Wilshire Boulevard, as some people say. My grandmother always said Wilshire. I know. Anyway, do you say Los Feliz or Los Feliz? It's such a topic right now, you guys. It really is. But anyway, we're not talking about Los Feliz right now. We are talking about the La Brea Tar Pits down there, the Prudential Building built in 1947, Orbox Department Store, and how much, I ask you, are we loving the Van de Kamp's windmill gone mid-century modern? Oh, I know. You guys, did you know that there's like one of those windmills left? I mean, they have a long history in Southern California, the Van de Kamp's Bakery, and they all had the windmill. And do you know the one that's left in Arcadia is now a Denny's, by the way? But it's not about that it's a Denny's. It's about that like 7 years ago, maybe only 6, the windmill was going around, and all of a sudden, it fell off its spindle and went crashing through and interrupted several people's dinners. That is true. They put it back, and it's still going right now. But anyway, we were just talking about Welton Beckett, and if you read up there on the upper right, Welton Beckett and Associates, that is the Welton Beckett office. I know. I love to put the puzzle pieces of history together. Don't you? I know. And that little lady looks like she's about 3 feet tall, doesn't she? I know. And we're not done yet with our tour. Oh no, we've got plenty more, including this, Ben Frank's, built in the year of 1962 on the legendary landmark Sunset Strip in West Hollywood. The building is still there. It has been modified. It is now Mel's. I remember in the early 80s, I went through a spell where I would go there every Sunday afternoon and order, of all things, you may moan, you may groan, you may get up and walk out, I'm not sure, I would always order liver and onions. I know. Don't you love the fact this guy pulled up in his butterscotch-colored 1959 Chevrolet station wagon that matches Ben Frank's? I know. Oh, you wanted something a little more casual. How about the hot dog show in my hometown of Ontario, California? Yes, indeed. Burned to the ground, grease fire in the kitchen, 1949. And I know that only because I got this from the lady who actually owned this hot dog show. It was a franchise. There were several of them around Southern California. And I thought to myself, I wanted to call the lady back, but I never did. I wanted to ask her, did you ever stand back and look what your art director gave you? A rather large person wearing striped tights, squatting over the entire operation. Therefore, making those hot dogs with angel wings and halos very unappetizing. I know. Oh, you didn't want to go to the hot dog show. You wanted to go to Tale of the Pup. Where do we begin to behold the glory of one of Southern California's great architectural icons? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a rare survivor from 1947. This picture taken here in the early 1960s. This was originally built in 1947, and it stayed on La Cienega for decades, up until about 23 years ago, when Cedars-Sinai said, we need your plot of land, and if you don't move it, we're just gonna smash it down, so you better move it or lose it. And so the owners are like, okay, we'll move it. Well, they didn't have a place to move it, so it went into hiding, where it was for 17 years. Nobody knew quite where the Tale of the Pup little building was. So I managed to play detective and get a hold of the father and son team who owned it. And I called them up and I said, I know that it's in hiding and I know that you don't want anybody to see it, but I really need to see it, please. Because I just wanted to, you know. What else did I have to do? So they said, well, the son, he was about 65 or whatever. The dad was like 90. And he said, well, I don't drive, so if you'll come over to our house and pick me up and drive me down to Torrance, where it is in the storage facility, I will show it to you. So we went down there, and it was under this big blue tarp inside the storage facility. I lifted up the blue tarp, and I'm like, oh, this is it. It's survived. I mean, we really weren't sure. I just wanted to know. So I put the tarp down, and I said, you know, I just want to tell you so much. I want to say thank you so much for your kindness and taking the time to come down here and show me that it still exists and everything and all of that. And as a token of my appreciation, I'd like to take you out for a nice lunch at the steakhouse. There was a really cool steakhouse. It's still there, the San Franciscan in Torrance. So yeah, that place. I know, kind of dive-ish, but whatever. No, we love it. Of course, because we love any place that's a dive. I said they have a really good steak sandwich at lunch, and he said, no, thank you. I don't care for a steak sandwich at lunch, no. I said, well, whatever you want then. Where would you like to go? And without skipping a beat, he said, Der Wiener Schnitzel. I hear the angels singing. The Big Donut Drive-In. Randy's Donuts by LAX. Originally, the Big Donut Drive-In. There were 9 of these buildings, built probably between about 1948 and probably the early 50s. 4 of these buildings still exist. Of course, the most famous one is Randy's by LAX. And in my opinion, you can agree or disagree, but it is absolutely, in no uncertain terms, the most important commercial retail structure of the 20th century. We may not quite grasp it now, but in the future, those who haven't even been born yet, they will see it. Think about it, you guys. We could go on and on, but we don't have time because we got to go to San Bernardino to Taco Lita. Yes, originally a chain. Tacos, as we know them as fast food, started in San Bernardino. There was a Mexican restaurant that is still there called Mitla Cafe, and there was a guy who had a hamburger stand across the street, and he saw people like going to that Mexican restaurant all the time, and he thought, I know, I'm gonna serve tacos out of the side window on Friday and Saturday nights of my hamburger stand, and he realized the hamburgers weren't as popular as the tacos, so goodbye hamburger stand, hello Taco Bell. Yeah, that is the Glen Bell, Taco Bell. Anyway, but this is not Taco Bell, this is Taco Lita, as you can see. I love the mood of the dusk light, that coral on the car glowing to match that sign. And by the way, I have been told several times by locals in San Bernardino back in the day that around town this sign was affectionately known as the Flaming Butthole. Okay, you did want a hamburger after all. Where Are we going to go for hamburger? Oh, how about McDonald's? Yes. McDonald's, by the way, did start in San Bernardino in the year of 1948. In 1952, the McDonald's brothers said, you know what, we are so over like car hop waitresses and all this stuff on the menu. We're gonna pare it down. We're gonna serve hamburgers, french fries, and milkshakes, and that's it. Nothing that requires a knife or a fork to eat. Nobody's gonna go out to the car and take their order. They'll park their car, they will get out of the car and walk up to the window, and the self-service system, Speedy self-service system was invented. And there's Speedy right there. We've sold 9 million. This was 1954. This is Alhambra. This was the 4th one built. There is one of these original McDonald's structures left working, and it is in Downey, California. If you go there right now, it looks exactly like that, only the sign is way bigger. And of course, as you can see, it's crystal clear, this little building is indeed a mid-century modern masterpiece. We could go on and on and on, but we don't have time right now because we need to make a splash. This is an action shot. The mood is up, prosperity rules, and the standard of living is flying high. There is no better shape for a swimming pool than kidney. Yeah. And this one you can see is rather generous. It belongs to Mrs. Bathing Cap there on the right and Mr. there. She owned a bar at the farmer's market at 3rd and Fairfax called the Chatterbox, and he was an insurance salesman. They did very well. They had no children, and their parties were indeed adults only. But we're not talking about their parties right now. We're talking about this party for one right here. Yes, posed on the best piece of mid-century modern patio furniture ever, this young man is living the American dream. Suntan swim trunks, bongo drums in case he wants to pound out a little rhythm by the pool, and a telephone with a cord that somebody paid extra for because it's 70 feet long. Probably phoning in his order for dinner. What's for dinner? This slide was marked trout we caught in the San Gabriel River. Yes, we don't usually eat trout we catch in the San Gabriel River right now. But anyway, it'd be better than what these people are having. At least it's homogenized. I had no idea dog meat patties cooked versus uncooked. I had no idea how much shrinkage was in dog meat, did you? Oh, fine, you wanted a hot dog split weenie? Fine. Oh no, you wanted, I love the hand coming there on the right, coming right in for the dog meat tartare. Yes. Thing is though, if you're gonna barbecue in the backyard, that's just fine and everything, but you better be very careful because it's very dangerous. Tujunga Fire, July 2nd, 1957. Yes, it is a 1955 Dodge Custom Sierra station wagon in buttercup yellow and cream, parked in the driveway of that Tudor Little Ranch-style tract home. Mother's running across the front lawn. Little Junior with crisscross suspenders stands before a half-done soapbox derby car. The dog doesn't know what's going on. Up on the roof, 2 young men are up there with a garden hose trying to wet down that very flammable shake roof. And these people are drinking in the backyard in Lakewood. Yes, they are. So you guys, next time you have a tiki party in your backyard, or any party for that matter, do not be bothered by mixing up a cocktail for everybody at your party. One cocktail will do, served in a giant watermelon. All you gotta do is the night before, put a hole in your watermelon, and stick the booze of your choice in there, and it'll absorb overnight. The next day, just before your guests arrive, stick as many holes in as your guests are gonna be, put a straw in, have them all gather around in a circle in your backyard, walk out your back door, and don't say cocktails are served, say cocktail is served. And you set it down right in the middle, and let them just sip away. They're gonna be drunk in no time. At least tipsy, and I hope these people are a little tipsy. Wait till they see what's for dinner. Roast suckling pig. Doesn't that look delicious? Oh, I know. Yes, indeed. I love the fact that that deliciously done flesh is looking right back at us with that pimento pupil in his green olive eye. I love like that little bit of like suggestion of pineapple upside down cake down the spine, a wreath around his neck of like, I'm not sure if those are grapes or olives or both. And then of course, I love the fact that not only does he have an apple in his mouth, there's a lemon in there. This is Southern California and we all have a lemon tree in our yard. She probably got this roast suckling pig wholesale here. This is Farmer John, Pork Slaughterhouse in Vernon. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you that back in the day, in 1953, the powers there that be at the Farmer John Pork Slaughterhouse said, you know, it might be a good idea to mask the horrors of what goes on inside. Why don't we hire a scenic painter from Hollywood to paint children's storybook farm scene murals all the way around this giant building? So they did, and this guy showed up and he started painting, and they go, you're doing such a good job, just keep going. It took him 3 years to paint all the way around the building, and when he was done, the powers there that be said, you did a great job, by the way, where you started 3 years ago is beginning to peel a little. You got a full-time job. You can just be touching up the murals for as long as you live. Well, one day in 1968, he was up there on the ladder, and he fell. He died. I know. This is the sad part of the show. And by the way, this pork slaughterhouse just got bulldozed about 2 months ago. I drove by there, and there was about 6 feet of the wall left. I don't know why. I guess they just didn't get to it. But anyway, it is what it is. But yeah, as I said, this is the sad part of the show. This slide is not about the yellow cinder block wall, not about the cockeyed serape hung there so stylishly, not about the redwood patio furniture, not about the fringed raspberry-colored tablecloth, not about the pottery on the table, the food on the table, the hurricane lamps, the people, the clothes they're wearing. No, not about that at all. This slide is about Nookie. Well, Nookie's not long for this world. Our hearts are sad. Our days are long. Nookie's gone, you guys. So, slides from this collection, written on this slide, it said Pet Haven Cemetery, Gardena. So I looked it up, still there. So I drove down one day, and I thought, I'm gonna find Nookie's grave to pay my respects. So I go down there, and I'll be darned anyway if I did not like trip over every Fifi and Fido grave marker stone for like 2 hours. And I'm like, that's it. I am leaving. I've had it. And I'll be darned anyway. I looked down, and there it was, right in front of me. I could not believe it. I laughed. I cried. But I never did find Ike, our precious white rat, loved by Mom, Aunt, and Hugh from 52 to 53. Liz, our white rat, loved by Mom, Aunt, and Hugh from 54 to 55. From 1950 to 52, Baby Girl, at least they let that little white rat live for 2 years, but the other 2 they put down after a year. Speaking of Ike, here he is now. Our former president, Ike Eisenhower, and his lovely first lady, and ours, Mamie, emerging from a 1960 Imperial limousine, custom-bodied in Italy by Ghia. Yes, chauffeur-driven, and they're in Palm Springs. I love the fact that they pull up there. Somebody was doing donuts there the night before. And excuse me, sir, when you're shaking a lady's hand, you never put your other hand in your pocket, okay? Didn't your grandmother teach you that? And of course, I don't know where the Secret Service are. There's people peeking through the bushes. But as you can see, it is Palm Springs. And I don't know about you, but it looks to me like those mountains are absolutely gorgeous. Yes, the scenery in Palm Springs is stunning. So is it in Desert Hot Springs. May I introduce you? This is Mr. Walker of Monrovia. And yes, he has man breasts. So yeah, I love the fact that, by the way, they painted the scenery in, and if you want to lay out by the pool, no problem. There's at least 1.5 feet for you to lay there. You want to lay out on a chaise? Nuh-uh. Not happening. A park bench is going to have to do ya. There's no lifeguard on duty either. Yeah, dozens of miles of gorgeous desert scenery, and they have to paint it in. By the way, there is no parking by the pool either. Oh no, you have to pull up right by the pool and let your passenger open the door and just dive right in, then you gotta pull away immediately. Like this guy right here, Bob of Burbank. That's what this slide was marked. In fact, every slide in his collection, he was an actor. And most of them said, I'm out of work, I'm out of work. He wrote it on the slides, I don't know why. Apparently he spent a lot of time in the desert. He was very happy because he was going to his favorite place in Joshua Tree. Mother Nature's very own monument to herself. This is indeed a legendary landmark rock in Joshua Tree. However unmarked, it is still there, I will tell you. So I thought to myself, I'm gonna go find Mother Nature's very own monument to herself. I got directions, and the directions were, no Google. We're not playing that game, no. We're gonna fly the real way. We're gonna get directions written down on a piece of paper by some stranger down in town. So, okay, fine. So turn at this rock, then there's another rock, turn left here, turn right at this other rock. I drove in there, I thought, okay, I got this. I couldn't find it anywhere. Again, 2 hours driving around. I'm like, I give up. I got out of my car, started looking around. It's supposed to be somewhere around here. Boom, right in front of me. Still there, you guys. Yes, indeed. Okay, fine. From the desert to the sea, Muscle Beach, Venice, California, 1959. Yes. Is this man experiencing cool ocean breezes where he doesn't usually experience cool ocean breezes? By the way, I hear that this is the hood ornament pose. I understand it's very difficult to do. Of course, I've never tried it, and nor will I ever. Back in the day, the Hollywood talent scouts would go here to Muscle Beach to try to find extras to be in movies and stuff in Hollywood, like this movie right here. Yes, this is the 10 Commandments. There's Moses and his co-stars there. We are on the set, and I will tell you that here's what happened. I went to a yard sale, an estate sale. I walk in the door, and the lady says, aren't you the guy that collects the old slides? I said, yes, I am. She said, I have set aside 30 boxes of slides. So, thank you. So I got them, I took them home, I stack them all up to look at them, and they all said 10 com on it. And no, I beg your pardon, I'm telling the story wrong. No, one said 10 com. That was the last box. All of the other 30 boxes that I went through first, 29 boxes, were all out of focus pictures of the hound dog. And I'm like, I have so wasted my time, I cannot spend another moment looking at these slides. So I put them away like 3 years later. I'm like, 10 com, I wonder what that is. I opened it up, there were 350 photos taken taken on the set of the 10 Commandments. And I found out that the place that I got him, the estate sale, he was the assistant of Cecil B. DeMille for 30 years. Here's the big scene now. Oh, I know. I don't know about you, but I have seen this movie, but I know for sure I missed my favorite part of it. Those 6 spotlights, the big blue screen, and those two Teamsters in the middle back there that forgot their costume. Yeah, you never know what you're going to find when you are going through other people's old slides. And I will tell you, many of the slides that you have seen tonight are, I mean, there's no one else was taking pictures that we know of on the set of the Ten Commandments in Kodachrome color. So, I mean, these are indeed real treasures. And I wanted you to see, well, since I had to go through 29 boxes of the out-of-focus pictures of the hound dog, I wanted to share one with you. And by the way, none of the pictures of the hound dog were in Kodachrome. As you can see, there is a big difference here. The color just is not there. I love the fact, though, that she's wearing her bathing suit and the hound dog's turning around saying, "Wash me." But she's a little busy right now. She's reading the November 1957 issue of National Geographic with a centerfold of Disneyland. Yes, Disneyland. So, you know, I might as well, I've already admitted it to myself, but, you know, really, the real education I had in the Southern California school system was really not as important as the education I got at my dad's used car lots, shopping malls, miniature golf courses, and theme parks. That is where I was educated, you guys. I know. So Disneyland was very important to me as a child. I learned so much there. It taught me so many things about style guides and looking through the layers of time. I remember when I was there as a little kid, I would be thinking to myself, okay, we don't go, I mean, I'm just gonna say it like it is. We don't go anywhere else where I can hear more languages being spoken. And as a child, to me, that gave me this like incredible high, and it made me feel so connected to the whole world. It just really inspired my imagination and made my spirit soar. Just like the bus stop sign that's the same shape as the Matterhorn over there, and the fake flags that are individually going in their own breeze of their own direction. I know. Here we are inside Fantasyland. Ask any mermaid you happen to see, what's the best tuna? That was better than you think it was. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, Chicken of the Sea. This is the tuna boat. And I remember when I was a little kid, we always did kind of the same pattern at Disneyland. Mickey Mouse pancake for breakfast, tuna boat for lunch, and we would go to the fried chicken place on Main Street for dinner. And this, by the way, is a very rare photo taken in October of 1964, when the buckets were transitioning from the original round buckets to the newer square buckets, which many of us probably remember. And of course, though I never did it, I know for a fact that if you wanted to smoke a joint or whatever at Disneyland, this was the perfect place to do it. You know, you'd bend down and no one would see you. I know, so apparently, yeah, this is where you did smoke the fun stuff. It looks like Grandpa and his new girlfriend, Little Bo Peep, enjoyed a little of the good stuff too, huh? And now we've arrived in Tomorrowland, the original Tomorrowland, which was promoted as the world of 1987. That is not that funny, is it? I didn't think so, but I mean, I know, it's thrilling is what it is. It's thrilling to be able to look through the layers of time and to see these incredible images of a world that's gone by. Everything changes so quickly from day to day. As I said earlier, nothing stays the same and nothing lasts forever. I treasure these images, and I'm so proud of the collection that I've worked so hard on for all these years with my librarian, Teresa Kennedy, who may be here tonight. And we are very dedicated to the preservation of, and it's just so thrilling for me to be here and to be able to share them all with you tonight. And also, we're not done yet though. I also want to say thank you to all the people who actually took these photos, because they are nameless people. We have no idea who they were. They had no idea that they were going to be shown and admired and appreciated and learned from. And they had no idea that they were going to inspire our imaginations and make our spirits soar. Just like that flagpole right in the middle there. Don't you love that? I love the blender there. I mean the clock of the world. It looks like a blender, doesn't it? I know. American Motors presents Sir Car-Rama. That was the precursor to America the Beautiful, the movie in the round. And of course, on your right, Monsanto's Hall of Chemistry, a walkthrough exhibit that showed us how chemicals were going to vastly improve our lives. And of course, in the background, the TWA rocket to the moon. Oh, fine, you weren't going to go to the moon, you just wanted to go to work. Well, you're going to be able to take this in the future, according to what Walt Disney thought. The monorail was added at Disneyland in 1959. There were 3 cars in 3 colors, 3 decorator colors, blue, red, and yellow. This is the early edition with the 1959 Cadillac tail fin and the bubble top. I will tell you that the first official passenger of this monorail was Vice President Nixon. Apparently, Vice President Nixon loved monorail. But anyway, we're not talking about him. We're talking about the fact that, okay, here's the big crowd has gathered. The press is here. It's the first official ride of the monorail, the dedication. Vice President Nixon's there, and he and Walt Disney get on the monorail, and they go all the way around. And Walt Disney is sweating bullets the whole time because and they get to the end, and he's like, whew. That go around was the first time the monorail had ever gone around without catching on fire. No, it was brand new technology, and every time they tested it, it kept catching on fire. Well, they didn't realize, and then they had the grand opening, and they're like, oh, but Walt, or Mr. Disney, or whatever they called him, it caught on fire this morning, too. And he's like, I don't care, we have to do this, because they're all gonna be here. So they did it. Speaking of here is the House of the Future. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it stood between the entrance of Tomorrowland and Sleeping Beauty's castle from 1957 through 1967, when apparently they thought the future was over. But what is miraculous about this house, in so many ways, it still looks futuristic. I say bring it back! They still have Autopia at Disneyland. Indeed, they do. And they're about to take them all electric, by the way. I know. These are the original cars, little European fiberglass sports car wannabe little cars. And little did Walt Disney and his Imagineers have any idea of the fact that people were going to want to use these little delicate fiberglass bodied cars as bumper cars. So a couple weeks after the park opened, the entire fleet was either damaged or destroyed, and they had to add the bumpers on them. Walt Disney said, fine. If you want bumper cars in Tomorrowland, we'll give them bumper cars. Flying saucer bumper cars. Looks like Grandpa really wants to do some bumping. So there was a little problem with the flying saucers that lasted from 61 to 66. Problem was, if you're too heavy, you just sat there. If you were too light, you'd flip you right over on your mouse ears. And here we are in the new Tomorrowland of 1967. We have Mr. and Mrs. Tomorrowland, and we also have the People Mover up there. By the way, Mr. and Mrs. Tomorrowland, everybody knows there are no guarantees in life. Just because you and your mate are Tomorrowland does not mean that you will not have a Frontierland child. And finally, we are on the exit ramp to my all-time favorite attraction at Disneyland, the attraction that really taught me how to use the tools in my mind to be able to have the discipline, to be able to look through the layers of time. And it is such a blessing, and Disneyland gave me that. We're not talking about the rocket jets up there that were like basically a Dumbo ride, but with rockets. And I remember it was pretty scary when you were up there, but we loved it anyway. Not about the People Mover, so slow. But we didn't care, we loved it anyway. No, we're talking about the Carousel of Progress, where here we are sometime beyond the year of 1973. Where audio animatronic robot computer-operated mannequins sang and spoke to us about the pleasures of household progress through electricity. Little did we know it was just a big advertisement for General Electric, but we didn't care because it was so amazing. I know, they have the perfect view of the perfect city. They have pineapple bases on their coffee table, split level, and an ice maker in their avocado green refrigerator. What more could you ask for? The words to the song, the theme song, stuck with me, have always stuck with me. It's my absolute favorite song ever of all time. I will never forget the words. Between the acts, where you went through from the turn of the 19th to the 20th century, then to the 20s, then to the 40s, and then from here, we are in somewhere beyond the year of 1973. There's a great big beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day. There's a great big beautiful tomorrow, and tomorrow is just a dream away. You guys have been a great audience. Thank you. I think we're going to have Q&A now. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you, Getty, for inviting me here. If you want to stick around, thank you up there. If you want to stick around, we have some Q&A happening. Do we indeed have Q&A? Does anybody have a question? A question? Yes, sir, right there in the black shirt.
Pacific Ocean Park.
Pacific Ocean Park, yes, we love Pacific Ocean Park, and I will tell you, I wish that I could have included that. I know you're mad. You're going to go home. Why didn't you say, okay, you want to really know? Here's the real deal. We could be here until the end of time. I could do literally 20 shows all about Southern California in the mid-century era. It's endless. And Pacific Ocean Park, of course, very important. You can check it out in my book, Addicted to Americana. You can buy it online. Sorry that I couldn't include everything. Do I see a hand over here? I saw a hand. Where's the hand? Oh, right there, sir, in the middle in the gray shirt.
Kodachrome movies?
Do I have Kodachrome movies? You know what? I will tell you the reason I do not collect other people's home movies is because of one thing. Our parents, including mine, were terrible photographers 99.9999% of the time, because all they do is go like that. The other thing is you have to watch them on the movie's time. And with slides, you can go through them. I go through them at the speed of light. I can spot the gems, like going like this through stacks of slides, so I can do it quickly. Home movies take too long. By the way, 8mm is really tiny. It does not blow up this clear. We're looking at 35mm slides. We have a lot of information in that slide. We have more colors in that Kodachrome than any digital data can give you. So Kodachrome reigns supreme. Oh, I better calm down. I'm gonna bust a vein. Yes, sir, right there. In the charcoal gray shirt. A lot of gray and charcoal.
You said that you went to the McDonald's. I forgot exactly where it was.
The McDonald's in Downey.
In Downey. Did they add seats outside?
Does the McDonald's in Downey have seats outside? Yes, sir. So you can actually sit down and enjoy those delicious French fries. Yes. Another question. Do I see hands, arms, legs? Up there. Where? Okay, yeah. Hi.
Is there any way that I can bring someone to see this very show again?
Okay, you can go on my website, charlesphoenix.com, where I have about 20 shows archived. You can watch them online. I have a version of this slideshow. It's about double length. You can watch in little bits and pieces. It's practically a series. And that is, sir, where you're going to find your Pacific Ocean Park. So yes, thank you. You can. You can go online to my website, watch on demand. I see another hand. Yes, you, the most excited person in one of my audiences ever. Yes. 2 times in 1 week? Oh, yes. You saw me on Sunday at Tiki Oasis, where the show was all about Knott's Berry Farm land. You didn't ask about that, sir. Knott's Berry Farm. Oh, sorry, I called it Knott's Berry Farm land. To me, everything is like a land. The whole world is like a theme park. Questions? What is the follow-up to the Chirpumple? That's none of your business. Next. No, the cherry, apple, and pumpkin pie that I invented stuffed into 3 layers of cake. That's another story for another day. We're talking about Kodachrome. Okay, where are we here? Did I see a hand? Yes, sir, red, right up front. Am I still with Valley Relics Museum? I'm not really with the Valley Relics Museum, but I highly recommend that if you ever are anywhere near the San Fernando Valley, you definitely, how many have been to the Valley Relics Museum? Oh, I know. World-class museum, Valley Relics Museum. If you haven't been there, look it up. You are going to love it. Do we have more time for a couple more questions? I see, oh, you're standing, sir. Yes, right there in the middle.
Okay, one little thing. In Easy Street,
Yeah?
the house to the right, that's called Hawaiian Provincial.
Okay, you're saying in the Easy Street slide, the house to the side, that I call Pagoda Ranch, you're calling it Hawaiian Provincial?
Marketed in the 50s, late 50s, early 60s, because Hawaii became a state.
You know, here's the thing, Hawaiian Provincial. I'm gonna tell you right now, sir, you know what? We learn from each other. I love to learn from the audience, and I have. No, people tell me things. Hawaiian Provincial? Oh, I love that. Hawaiian Provincial. I know. Oh, what kind of house do you live in? Hawaiian Provincial. I'm obsessed. It's my new obsession. Yes, sir, are you still talking?
In Brentwood, there's a high-end community. There's 4 different styles. And a friend of mine's parents bought that style. And he said, what is it called? And his mother said, if I tell you, you can't laugh. And he did, and he did. And it was marketed because of that.
Your friend bought a Hawaiian Provincial home.
It's a medallion, and the roof goes up at the corners.
I love any building where the roof goes like this, like this, like this, like this, or like that. Don't you? I know. Okay, I think that I am getting the signal that it is over. One more question. What is my favorite slide? Oh, dude, there's too many. Impossible to choose. There are so many. You guys have been a wonderful audience. Thank you, Getty. Thank you, Jim Gantz, for inviting me here. Greg Sandoval, and all of you for being here. Thank you.